Welcome. What's this today? Thursday. Happy thrilling Thursday. Hope you all having a great day. And I'll show you the viewpoint I have. This is what I'm checking out right now. This beautiful view over here on Mare Island. That's what I'm looking at. This is at this decommissioned shipyard. So my topic today is Furious February. Being a good girl in dark times. So usually I do some shorts, but Chat GPT told me not to do that, to do a longer video. So I'm going back to my natural self of speaking for 6 to 12 minutes on a topic. And what I want to talk about is being good in these dark times. It's I know it's difficult for you, for those of you who are good girls or nice guys or whatnot, good centered people like me. I know it's difficult for you, but hang in there and be encouraged. Instead of looking at me, I think I'm going to show you the water while I talk. So this my goal of this page and my platform is to help overwhelmed Christians find peace, love, hope, and joy, one day at a time. And that's why I try to do daily videos, but then it was ChatGPT told me not to do that. And I've been, and first of all, I apologize. I haven't been on here for a long time. I've been busy with caregiving for others. And what I learned in that space, I'm showing you this here is because I was trying to be, relaxing, but I can turn back to me if you really want to see me. What I learned in that space is how important it is to take care of yourself. That's why I call it a Furious February. I've been bombarded with I've been trying to help take care of and supporting my spouse who was dealing with, who had pneumonia and other, as well as other health ailments. Trying to make sure I didn't get sick. I had my own health stuff. I had to get my own, infusions. If you look at my old videos, you've probably seen that. So I had an infusion and he was dealing with that, and I had to try to make sure I didn't get sick, because then if I got sick, then I wouldn't be able to get my infusion. So there was that. And then I had my parents who were older, they're seniors, they're pretty independent and all that. But as you guys noticed, this push for everything to be digitized now, that means a lot of the people that are older people, or people that just don't have access to internet and digital or whatnot, are not really comfortable with it, needs more support. So this first almost 3 weeks of February has been on that. And so, hey there to Juan and Kevin. And I'm talking about Furious February. Comment below if your February has been furious as well, as mine has been. I'm going to say juxtapositional January and furious February. That's how I would describe these 2 months. And I had a shift that occurred in me last week, a week ago. Notice you can kind of tell it from my hair. See my flyaway hair? I cut my hair cut short. If you notice, if for those of you who notice, yes, I did cut my hair shorter from before. It was time. It was it was pointed and perfect for this shift that's occurring. So my whole point of having this channel is to uplift and encourage, everybody, because this is some hard times. I don't care where you are around the world. I don't care if you're rich or poor. It's some rough times out here, and it's, we're having a hard time. People are saying that. How you doing, Charlotte? Thank you. And so let me give you Bible first, because I'm a Christian. I'm not going to be like a, bang you over the head with it. But I was thinking about how I've been thinking. I hadn't been on here in a couple of weeks, really. I just did the last one video I did was, if you look at my page, it's mostly shorts, was showing off my my friend's art exhibit that's there in the government center. If you're in Sloan County, it's the Sloan County Government Center, and you can check out her art exhibit for Black History Month, which is really beautiful. And the page called Serve the Silent, because when I tell you serve the silent, who do you think of? It's about helping, it's not just, and I also am a published author of the book Serve the Silent. You can get it on Amazon or message me. And 76 pages to keep you uplifted. And I'm working on something with that and inviting you into a space I'm creating for that. I also have a Facebook group called Serve the Silent and an Instagram account called Serve the Silent. So go ahead and, get on there if you want to check that out. So, I'm not going to acknowledge anything negative. I'm going to keep this positive because that's the whole point of this page. So if you want to be negative or rage bait, feel free to remove yourself because this is about encouraging and uplifting everyone. So the Bible verse I was thinking about was Romans 12:21, where it says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." And that's my motto. I've always been that way since birth. I've always been one that's been like that, about uplifting and encouraging. So what I noticed is the era that I grew up in. If you didn't know, I guess you could say a younger Gen Xer. I'm like at the end. You know how they pay us to be rebels and all that kind of stuff, but we also followed the rules to some degree too, because we were raised by boomers and some raised by veteran silent generation, and so they were like, these are the rules. This is how you govern yourself, society. And then we broke the rules sometimes because we were trying to push the envelope or push things forward progressively, right? But then we still kind of fell within the rules. So for those of us who are here seriously and not just here to spam or, or be dark, because anybody's dark spirited will be blocked when you post anything negative, that's not in accordance with what we're talking about. You'll be removed. If you notice how those of us who've been around, I'm going to call it the 45 and up crew, right? We all were like, remember how when we were in school, and I don't know about internationally, but I definitely think here in America, we were all like, okay, you remember when you went to school, before you went to school, you had to get your, your little cards, little vaccination, little yellow vaccination card, and your mom and dad had to take you to the doctor and you had to fill it out. And then you put, the little thing in there, and then you put, they had to sign off that they got your shots and everything. So that's what, and then we turned it in. There wasn't really much pushback on that, and that's what was required to make it in, right, to school. Oh, this video is going longer than I expected. I'm already 8 minutes in. So, okay, so I got to figure out how to remove some people. Remove. Okay. And let's see, is there a block button here? Report. So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Because I'm trying to do a positive talk here. So, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:21. So in every way that it's hard in good times. Remember I said it's a furious February. If anybody else feel like you're having a furious February and you're participating in this productive conversation, feel free to chime in and say, yeah, I feel the same way. It feels like the energy's off. I feel like this is pushed to, you're trying to accomplish things and do right. And there's all this pushback, but just keep going on. And so we got to still lead with the good and not let the bad overcome, That's why I was saying, negativity, things like that. Nah, I'm not going to even entertain. You know what I mean? Because it's not. Let's see. Man, all this is all for the same person. Wow. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So, it was simpler times then. But now, where we live now, 50 years later, whatever you want to say, it seems like evil is people in evil behavior, like for example, in social media, rage baiting is what gets, it's what's getting the attention and going viral. So I don't care about trying to go viral to get, by negativity. I want to uplift and encourage. So I'm gonna still stay in my lane in that way. So then I noticed in recent years I've had to move my favorite. That verse was one that was like one of my guiding verses. It reminds me when I was in Christian school when I was a child. Remember how we were taught, no matter what your religion is, remember we all taught like to turn the other cheek and stuff like that. And now it's like we can't always just turn the other cheek. Now we have to actually confront evil. Now we're in a different part of this thing called life. So I found myself reflecting a lot on the verse 1 Thessalonians 5:17. That's about pray continually, right? And it's about praying, pray continually. And there's three parts to this. First, so I'm gonna put these in the comments too after. So if you don't have a Bible or you don't have access, you can look at this later. But pray continually is the part that stuck with me a lot in the last years, especially since COVID. Remember, in 2020 to now, and it's like we're different. Anyone else feels like it's in a different season we're in now? So in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, it says to pray continually, and that's important to keep yourself prayed up, covered, spiritually renewed. Walking and being a good person in this dark time. It also says there in 16 and 17, rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances. So that's something that we have to keep in mind, that regardless of how bad, how it is, right? We have to, think positive and be thankful for whatever we're going through, good or bad. So in this Furious February, I've been keeping that in mind. And maybe that's why I attracted some negative attention originally when I first said this, because I said Furious February. So maybe I'll keep the words positive next time, or start out with the positive. How to overcome Furious February, right? So now I feel like I'm in a season, and you let me know, anybody, if you want to, or just think about it, that we're now in this third favorite verse of mine. It's from Romans 5. Wait a minute. No, Galatians 5:22. And that is, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Against such things is no law. Is not against. It's not. Oh, I can't read what I wrote in chicken scratch here. Against such things there is no law. Yeah. So against all things, basically, if you govern yourself by that, I always say govern yourself accordingly. You know how when you're in places and they say govern yourself accordingly, if you stick to those things with the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, then you're going to be all right. Use that as your governing, message to keep you going. That's from New King James Version. If you go back, most of us over a certain age, we grew up under King James. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's a couple other words. I think it's forbearance instead of long suffering. So compare your Bible translation to whichever one that sits with you the most. So that's the thing when I say don't test God, but you can test the Spirit. So when people are exhibiting those negative emotions, believe it. As Maya Angelou said, people show you who they are the first time, believe them. People omit that one part. She says people show you who they are the first time. That's the part you got to remember. People show you the first time, and then believe them. So you don't keep getting yourself, ragged over and over again. And then finally, I would say Romans 5, verse 3 and 4. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance. Oh, I can't read what I wrote. Um. Oh, I can't read what I wrote. But basically, perseverance, hope, and caring, character, and hope. So, I'll put the verse in the chat after in the comments later. But that's what you gotta hang your hat on, as they say, and you'll be all right. So don't give up. So my daily faith practice for you, the basic foundation is praying for yourself, and others connected to you, and reading the Word, right? Reading your Bible or your whatever's text you follow, scriptural text you follow. That keeps you uplifted and encouraged, and evaluating your circle, of course. But I would say for me, so to me today, when I was feeling kind of like overwhelmed by all this negative stuff that's going on, my one practice for peace today to deal with my overwhelm was to pull up over here. Got me a little snack, and I pulled up. I'll show you, for those of you who are still here. I'll show you the environment here. I'm looking at again. See this beautiful environment by the water. That's what I'm doing, sitting here by the water at this decommission shipyard. So my daily faith practice today, my one practice today to calm myself and feel better, was to sit back, get my food, sit back, eat, read the Word, pray, read the Word, think about, okay, Lord, what do you want me to talk about for you all? And because I have a lot of ideas, topics, like I told you, I was thinking about talking about being a caregiver the last few weeks, but as you see, I kind of went on the direction of just in general how to maintain yourself in these trying times. So I'll put these verses in the comments. And my practice today was to get a bite to eat and sit by the water, enjoy this view, listen to the waves and everything, and to read my Word, journal a little bit. If you see my little chicken scratch, that's why I was like, uh-oh, I got chicken scratch sometimes when I'm writing fast. And I'm still maintaining being a good girl in these times by sticking to the word, what these favorite Bible verses I have to guide myself, keep me going, right? So that's what I have to say for you all today. I went a little bit over than I planned on saying, and despite it being a furious February, I decided to shift a week ago. I said, I'm taking care of myself. From this point, I did everything for everybody else. And then I realized I was falling off on my stuff. And I was like, nope. Okay, so I got to sit back and just work on me, take some time out for me. And that's what I'm doing right now. Sitting here by myself, enjoying the water, the sun setting. I go over to the other side so I can watch the sunset properly. And then head on back to the house and do a couple IG reels and Facebook groups. So if your patience is short and you just want a short version of this, follow my Serve the Silent Instagram page. If I can, I'll try to put that in the comment. Just Serve the Silent. My Facebook group, I have two Facebook groups, I think. First one, Serve the Silent, my coloring group, and there's the one that's called Serve the Silent. And I'm building a community for us to kick it in there, a quiet, calm space for us to reset as well. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, watch, like, and subscribe, as they say. And I did a live because I ran out of space on my phone to do a video and then edit it. So it's just straight off top of my dome. I love you all, and like I said, I'm keeping it positive. So if you see some things that got removed, that's because this is not a space for that. This is for uplifting and encouraging one another. So if you do that, I'm just going to remove you, because there's too many people out here hurting that need uplifting and encouraging. and I want to serve you. And that's why I say, serve the silent. Have a good day. Well, I guess I'm trying to log out. See, I'm still learning, y'all. Or you want to stop streaming? Yep, I want to stop streaming. So have a good night, y'all. Show you one last look before I head out. There you go. This is beautiful. This is my practice for you today. This is my one thing you can do to change your emotional state. Go find some water and sit by it. Have a good night. Serve the silent.